Manthimba, the bustling heart of the Maravi Kingdom, where history wasn't just written, it was danced, sung, and occasionally debated over a well-cooked meal. This was no ordinary city. Manthimba was the secular and administrative capital of an empire that once ruled vast areas of the African continent. My name is Ancient Swan, and you've just heard what an introduction sounds like when I read it out loud. And I'm not going to stop either. Imagine a place where trade routes hummed with activity, where merchants bartered for goods ranging from ivory to Chinese porcelain to tiny wee voodoo dolls that see you jumping off a cliff when you least expect it, and where the air was thick with the scent of fresh produce and the occasional whiff of political intrigue. Manthimba wasn't just a city. It was the nerve center of a kingdom that thrived on diplomacy, commerce, and a healthy dose of strategic maneuvering. The Maravi Kingdom was founded by Bantu people immigrating into the valley of the Shire River flowing out of Lake Nyasa around 1480 AD. The kingdom grew and at its height stretched across present-day Malawi, Zambia and Mozambique all the way to the Indian Ocean. That's right, before us whiteys came along, drew some modern borders and created the administrative headache and political disasters we have today. The Maravi had a kingdom so vast that even their pigeons needed travel documents. At its peak, the empire thrived on trade, dealing in everything from iron tools to fine textiles, all while Portuguese merchants lurked around trying to look innocent. Honestly, the Portuguese turning up with their questionable intentions is like my mate who keeps showing up at parties uninvited with an empty wallet and expecting free drinks. One particularly chaotic episode occurred in the 1590s when the Portuguese attempted to take control of the ivory and gold trade in the region. Their plan backfired spectacularly when the Maravi dispatched their Zimba warriors, who raided several Portuguese trade towns with ruthless efficiency. Imagine the Portuguese merchants thinking they had a solid business strategy only to be met with fierce warriors who had absolutely no interest in playing along. The Portuguese, accustomed to formal treaties and written agreements, were baffled when the Maravi leaders preferred oral agreements, sealed with symbolic gestures rather than paperwork. Imagine the Portuguese scribes frantically trying to document a deal, while the Maravi rulers casually cut shapes with their hands and threw dance moves at them. The Portuguese attempted to impress the Maravi with European goods, including fancy clothes and firearms. While the Maravi appreciated some of the items, such as the guns they could then shoot the Portuguese with, they reportedly laughed at the Portuguese fashion, finding their elaborate outfits impractical for the African climate. The Portuguese, expecting admiration, were instead met with people laughing right into their smelly, stupid, foreign faces. Reminds me of the time the Scottish rocked up to the equator trying to sell woolen jumpers. "Why does nobody want these clothes?" asks Ronaldo as he pisses another litre of sweat right into the ocean. The heart of the kingdom was Manthimba, the capital where the Kalonga ruled with the kind of authority that made even the local chickens pay attention. It had marketplaces where bargaining was not just encouraged, it was an Olympic-level sport. You walked in for tomatoes, you walked out with 3 bananas, a recurring monthly payment, and a life lesson, as well as a newfound respect for grandmothers who could out-negotiate anyone, and possibly a mysterious bundle wrapped in banana leaves that may or may not be the best thing you've ever eaten. You know, as I type that sentence, I'm reminded of the wee old woman who used to live down the road from me when I was a child. She would swap me chocolate sweets in return for some stones I'd found on the street. Looking back on those days, you know, I'm not sure that woman would do so well in the Maravi Kingdom. No, she would be absolutely destroyed by the locals. How can anyone possibly survive in Maravi when they're stupid enough to give chocolate in return for a handful of rocks? The Maravi people ate well, simple, hearty and full of flavor. Their staple food was ensima, a thick porridge made from maize flour, which was basically the glue holding society together. If you didn't know how to cook ensima properly, you were one step away from being publicly shamed by your grandmother. Alongside ensima, they enjoyed a variety of vegetables, beans and meats that added flavor and nutrition. Fish from Lake Malawi was a prized source of protein. Hunting and farming were essential, so people ate game meat, including antelope and small mammals, as well as domesticated livestock like goats and chickens. Fruits such as mangoes, bananas, and baobab fruit were common. ensuring that even in ancient times, even though probably nobody was anal enough to be counting their calories, the people living at Manthimba had their own version of a balanced diet. No Coca-Cola to drink it all down, though, so I reckon I still win. But they did have beer, so I guess it's not a total loss. Because what's a kingdom without a little fermented fun? Traditional brews of the Maravi Kingdom made from millet or sorghum were popular, proving that even centuries ago people understood the importance of getting absolutely smashed after a long day of being chased by the local lions. After almost 400 years dominating the Southeast African landscape, the Maravi Kingdom eventually began to disintegrate towards the end of the 19th century. Many of its clans grew more autonomous, enjoyed their wee bit of freedom, and fought for more. And then, as the kingdom weakened from the inside, its enemies on the outside watched on like jackals. Repeated raids from their north and south by the Ngoni and Yao tribes eventually caused the kingdom to collapse, leaving almost nothing left of the capital city that once thrived here. In modern times, the present-day name of the country, Malawi, is suggested to have been derived from the Chiwa word meaning flames. Maravi is now a general name for the peoples of central Malawi, eastern Zambia, and northeastern Mozambique. And I'm a Scottish dude sitting in a bedroom thousands of miles away, because that's how geography works. As per literally every other time, always, much of the footage in this map was taken from my own self-made map for the game Cities Skylines 2, and you are of course free to download from the link in the description below. While you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. The YouTube algorithm despises my mere existence, and your button clicking will help defeat that monster. If you'd also like to know this map's information before grabbing it, then definitely keep watching this bit next, because it's got the stuff you'll be wanting. Climate 10 to 31 degrees Celsius. Buildable area 83%. Outside connections, roads, rail, sea, air and power. Natural resources. Wheat 61.9 square kilometers. Forest 66.3 kilotons. Or 71.9 kilotons. Oil 60.5 kilotons. Terrain pretty flat. As for me, ladies and prettier ladies, I'm off ski. Quite literally got no time to even write an outroduction, which is a new word I just made up, like an introduction, but more at the end on the way out. And this is what mine sounds like right now on account of it being how it sounds when I read it. Thanks for watching. I love you all. And huge shout out to the world's best Patreons, DD, George H, Malichi I, Anthony T, and Stephen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye, you beautiful souls. Peace, love, and Manthimba.